What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Shooting the Shift. We apologize, it's been a little bit, but we've been busy creating and traveling and doing all things shifting consciousness. So today we're super excited though, because we are going to be talking about activating your cosmic light body. Nicole and I are actually putting on an event Friday night, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So we've had a couple questions like, what is that? What does it mean to activate your cosmic light body? And how do we do it? So we figured, why not make a video explaining a little bit about the cosmic light body, how we understand it, and get you guys excited about what's happening Friday.
And not just Friday, but we are doing this periodically. So if you missed the one, by the time we have this put out there are more to come.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it. We're going to really try to do it on portal dates. So this one is 9/9. We've got another one scheduled for 11/11. And it's something that the repetition of doing it multiple times can kind of help us to integrate more and more of this cosmic light body into our physical body and create changes, like a ripple effect in our world. And it's sort of like this transformative element. I think we can kind of all see that things are shifting in the world. It's why we have a channel like this.
Yeah, so Kristin, tell our audience, what exactly is a cosmic light body?
It's such a good question, because I think that there are probably, it's something, at least for me, it's like hard to define, like hard to put your finger on it. We had mentioned it before when we talked about walk-ins, how it's almost like this part of us that is much more limitless. It's larger than our human self. It's this kind of infinite part of us that we can tap into, and we can access it, and we can download it into our human. It's really difficult. I'm struggling to actually put it into words because I see it visually.
So I'm thinking, people in the audience, I'm going to play advocate here and say, well, is it that your soul?
This is what I love about mysticism, is no one can tell you definitively what the essence of our spirit is. If someone is telling you as a human definitively this is what these things are, I think that they're mistaken, because the mystical is mysterious for a reason. There's an element of mystery to it. So we can do our best to express it via the limitation of words through our physicality. But what we're talking about here, activating the cosmic light body, is tapping into something that is beyond limit. It's greater than your physical form, but you have the capacity to integrate it in. So the way that I see it is almost like it's this upside down triangle, right? And the top part is expansive, it's open, it's wide, it's how we connect to the divine or divinity. And we can actually funnel that in and integrate it. So to me, the cosmic light body is it's like a crystalline, perfect blueprint of who you are as a human, well, as a soul, that can express through your humanity. And so Nicole and I want to create an atmosphere and a ritual that creates the perfect platform for people who attend to tap into that part of themselves and bring it into the world. The more crystalline light bodies we have activated on the planet, the more healing and transformation we're going to see.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on the light body, the crystalline light body?
I feel like it's this network of energetic pathways, and it connects both our bodies, our soul, and the universe. So because we're all connected, what is it that connects us all? It's energy. And these energetic pathways, in order for them to, like the energy to move and be shared and all of that, it's whatever your network is. And then it meshes with all the other networks. So that's what makes us all connected. It's the energy that passes through us that brings different information, different awarenesses, and deeper connections as a shared experience. So the collective consciousness, right? We're not necessarily separate entirely from the collective, we're part of the collective, but we're also have our individuality, and we're connected to all of everything that exists. So how does that even happen? It's the network and the expansiveness of the energy that and how it can navigate through all of those pieces, including you. So it's a little bit complex, and there's a certain level of ineffability, an inability to articulate what exactly it means. So you just kind of have to feel it.
I agree with that. And so I was thinking while you were talking, do you think that our being human and our experiences of being human can distort our connection to this light body? Like I was thinking about how trauma or heartbreak or things like grief, if a human being experiences them, it can almost distort our connection to that. So, excuse me, Nicole and I had been talking earlier, and we'll get more into this too, what we're actually going to be doing during the cosmic light body activation. Nicole sings sound code frequencies that can help clear up past traumas, that can help reconnect a person to this cosmic light body. I was thinking about how our human experiences might cause that distortion, but how these frequencies in this atmosphere can help to clear and reconnect to that cosmic light body. So could you talk a little bit about the sound codes, how they came through and how they help and influence?
Great question. It was after I had a near-death experience, I had a series of all kinds of deeper levels of awarenesses and encounters and just visions and awakenings and just openings, just all this stuff. And one of the things was these sound codes. I kept finding that my throat would close up if I did not express either information that I was receiving that needed to go to another person, or information that I needed to just speak out loud and say in a conversation. It started with these just sounds. And anybody that really knows me knows that I used to hate my voice. Hated it, because I was always quieted. You can't talk about stuff like that. You shouldn't say things like that. So I didn't know what I should say or what I was allowed to say. So I just didn't. So it became this block that was there. And because I should be seen and not heard, then I should not speak. Therefore, the sound of my voice was disgusting to me. And after this near-death experience, I kept finding that I had to make these sounds. And it sounded weird at first, but then it came to this acceptance of, okay, well, whatever this is, I'll just let it be. I'm all alone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And it started to heal different parts of me and different levels of me that also opened up the ability to help other people heal. And one of the things, when you're asking about, how they came through, I used to sing them in the car. So wherever I was going, I'd sing them in the car. And I was actually going to Collective Soul in Acushnet. It's where I did a lot of aura photography. And I was on my way there, and it takes about 50 minutes to get there. So I did it the whole time. And the whole time that I was singing, I was getting visions of what I was going to be doing, big, huge visions. So I didn't stop singing because I was like, if I stop singing, maybe the visions will stop, and it was just coming out. And so it was this experience that I was having, and the vision is still, I know it's working in the background. And also with this, it also showed me with this to bring this, that I was going to be doing this with a bunch of people, and that it was going to keep growing and growing because it was going to be healing so many people and at deep, deep levels, which we'll get into that whole grief thing. But when I got to the store, something weird happened. And when I got to the store, I started to unpack and bring my stuff in, and usually they come out and help me. And so I'm like lugging all this stuff and going inside the door, and they said, I get this confused look, and they're looking at me and they're like, "Where did you come from?" I said, "What do you mean? My car?" And they said, "No, wait, the two of us, you're usually here at this time, so you are a few minutes later than you usually are, even though it's early. So we were watching the street, waiting for you to turn in. We didn't see you come in." Two people watching the whole time. They're like, "We haven't taken our eyes off of these windows and where you come in. The only place to get in." I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And I'm like, "Well, maybe I'll share what I was doing." And I started talking about what I was doing, and they're like, "You just became so light and invisible." They didn't even see me basically coming in the door until I was like right in there.
Isn't that interesting? That's in the Celestine prophecy too, where they turn themselves into the pure light, and it actually creates this invisibility on our planet. And
Right.
it talks about that in Autobiography of a Yogi as well. These superhuman feats that we're actually capable of doing if we practice the mystical stuff. So I think
Right.
that's what connects us too, is like that love of the mystical. So you think the sound codes really ascend people's frequency, moving them through matter into that pure light frequency.
Yeah, what I've noticed is so many different sounds come out. So it's like these bits, these like groupings of different sounds that speak to that person, whether it's their past lives or, what's going on with them in this life. And it just brings this super healing level. There are sometimes I get the understanding of like the overall gist of what I'm saying to someone. And sometimes it feels like I'm singing about someone's epic journey and the tragedies, the traumas, and also the epic, achievements that they've had. So it kind of goes through all of this stuff, but healing all the wounds of that and bringing them into a different space while that person that I'm singing to is experiencing it at an extremely deep and personal level because they know all the intricate details and they release so much. And it's because it's outside of that human body realm that we bypass a lot of that grief process that I have not seen, and even in my own experience doing it for myself, there's no grief process that you bring back. It's literally, it's done in that space, and then that new element is carried forward. So there isn't that void that you have to kind of get through. You know what I'm talking about? Is that you experience this void, and then the grief, and then the process of going through that grief, and then the acceptance, and then the ability to shift fully and be in that space. So it kind of bypasses all of that, which I think is amazing.
It almost seems like it's going beyond your human. Like it's like getting into that spiritual space where no time exists. So there's no body of matter that needs to move through time and space.
Right.
You're tapping into this place where everything is already whole and perfect and complete and healed, and then
Right.
integrating that in.
It's the entrainment.
Yeah.
So you're bringing in this super high vibrational frequency, and that entrainment comes up and meets there, and because you're being brought up to that vibration, all of those negative energies shatter, and it's like it just sloughs off and comes out, so you don't have, there's no residuals.
That's the shift.
That's the shift.
That's the shift. It's like, Oh, I love that. I love that. And so there's like a lot of other things that we're going to be doing too that help, aside from the sound codes, that's a huge part of it, but also creating the atmosphere in the container and the ritual. So these things are, they're sacred ritual practices, and we're going to include other sound frequencies. The Healing Tones of Crystal Bowls was a fantastic book that I was recommended to read when I was in my early years of mystery school training. And pretty much the sound frequencies that come from the bowls are also a pure tone frequency. And so these are harmonics that exist within the human energy field as well. And so when we play the tones of the crystal bowls, they're essentially bringing your human instrument into tune. So when we have traumas or illnesses, or say we've been exposed to toxicity, heavy metals, things that can create distortions in our pristine light body, certain things like sound codes, like pure frequencies, if played long enough, can bring us back into resonance, can bring us back into healing. The foods can do this for us too, but specifically for the ritual that Nicole and I are creating on Friday, we're going to be using a lot of sound, a lot of light, a lot of really cool things, and I'm super excited. I'm really excited to...
They're creating that full sensory experience, so all of your senses will be heightened and tended to, and also you're going to be able to explore and go into a deeper level of awareness about what that actually means for you personally.
And I'm also going to be sharing a meditation that I've been doing for the past couple months, and I like to do these things as like a personal practice first, so I can experience them for myself. And I can say that this is a meditation that I've learned through a sacred geometry course. And when Mike and I went to Sedona, I did this specific light body meditation on every vortex with the intention of bringing it back to quantum for this cosmic light body activation. And it's a step-by-step process of how we can go into our energy field and start to activate these, these energy centers that may have previously been dormant. And it's just been really cool to do, and it's been amazing to watch subtle shifts and changes in my life that align with this frequency. And we're gonna be creating a really cool mystical atmosphere, and I'm excited to see what changes happen for ourselves and for all the people who attend. So,
Yeah,
is there
especially
anything
now.
else?
There's a lot of energy that's happening right now and through the rest of the year, and this is just going to be one of those things where if you've got stuff going on, come on and let us just bring you into that space, bring you to a higher sense of you, and slough off the negative stuff that's holding you back.
Yeah, it's really powerful when we do it together. I think that's
Yeah.
the key too. There's like a nice little group atmosphere. And yeah, so it's our first one is going to be this Friday at 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So it's only an hour and a half, but it's going to be epic. And we've still got a little bit of space left. So check out, I'll put a website link in more of a description to somewhere in the comments section or the description of the video. So definitely check it out. If you guys are local to Massachusetts, and maybe eventually we'll get this online for more of our online audience. But
so those of you who are watching a replay of this, it is September 9th, 2022. We will have other ones periodically, so just check out the website and see what other ones that we have coming up, and we'll see you at whichever one is in divine timing for you.